Thanks to my sister Tiffany for her many years of support in managing unwieldy properties, and to my brother, who has been a sounding board throughout my life and a support in so many other ways. My many mentors have been the source of personal and professional growth, including Whitney Thier, Ted Quirk, and Jim Scott. Thanks to Nathaniel Broughton, my partner in Opt-Out Life, who has been a vital part of bringing these concepts to life. To Jeff Cribbs, who said, "Just publish the damn book." I'm thankful to have someone push me to just get it out there. Thanks to Bill Mueller, my dog Monty's adoptive father. He's a killer editor and has been part of the evolution of this book. My first month in Bali, I reworked a chapter that I had started years before and emailed it to Bill. He took an axe to it and thus began the path of writing this book. Finally, thanks to my daughter Chloe for putting up with the entrepreneurial life and still turning out so well. I can't take credit for her awesomeness, but I'm thankful for her lifelong patience in being part of an opt-out life. Introduction. My wife and I sat on chase lounges and took a deep breath. In front of us was the vast Indian Ocean. Behind us was a ring of clouds surrounding Bali's volcanic mountains and the lush green slopes that drive sharply toward the coast. A short Balinese man plodded our way, carrying 2 coconuts with straws poking from the top. He wore a traditional shirt, a baseball cap, and a large grin. He probably saw our own smiles, the smiles of 2 Americans who had just arrived in paradise. Okay, maybe he was smiling because he was about to make a profit from our naivete. We paid double for those coconuts and sat with big smiles on our faces. We sat and soaked it in. And by it, I don't mean just the warm azure water, the beautiful rice fields, and the delicious coconut. What I mean by it is the fact that we were there at all. Just a short time before, I had been furiously answering emails and watching my phone blow up with messages from 3 different apps, letting phone calls go to voicemail and driving 3 different directions through traffic. In short, a normal American life. But we had done the unthinkable. We had pulled off the great escape. We bailed out on the rat race, not just for a short vacation, but indefinitely. We came to Bali on a one-way ticket. As we sat on those chase lounges, we occasionally sighed. We'd look at each other and laugh a little without a word. After months of planning, we were in Bali, Indonesia, sitting on the beach, holding overpriced coconuts. I left Heather under the umbrella and took a long, solitary walk along the beach. There were a few surfers out in the 80-degree water. Local children were playing in the shore break. A Balinese Hindu temple was silhouetted in the distance on a short bluff at the edge of the beach. I walked toward it, feeling something I had not felt in a long time. The feeling of being free. That feeling you have only when school lets out for the summer and you know you won't have any homework for 3 months. That feeling was slowly sinking in. My brain was fighting it. I was looking for problems to solve. I was looking for tasks to do. My brain was not yet comfortable without something to fixate on. I reached the temple and walked up the stairs leading from the sand to the entrance. A sign warned that it was a place of worship and recited a dress code. I was in board shorts and shirtless. I took a moment to stare into the courtyard of this ancient structure. The temple consisted of a large patio in the center covered by a high roof supported by stone pillars. The carved stone outer wall appeared to be lava rock. I imagined the time and patience of the stone carvers who created these very ornate walls from solid rock. I didn't yet know that in a matter of weeks, I would end up at a ceremony in a temple much like this one, wearing a sarong and a traditional headdress. I turned my back to the temple to survey the ocean before me and shook my head. Yep, I was really here. As I sauntered back to my wife's chase, I gazed at the towering volcanoes. There was a cloud layer that appeared to be expanding. Clouds from the north were moving quickly, which was beautiful to watch. By the time I reached Heather, I looked around and realized that the beach had become sparse. I looked up to where my scooter was parked and saw only a few bikes other than mine. We quickly gathered our things and kicked the scooter into gear. The sun faded as we wound down a dirt path from the beach. We passed a water buffalo tethered to a tree in a field as we crossed it en route to the main road. Droplets hit our helmets, and Heather tightened her grip on my waist. This was a first, riding a scooter across a field under the watchful eye of a water buffalo as rain began to fall on us. It would be one of my many firsts. We rode on as the sprinkles turned to drops, and the drops turned into a downpour. I wore only a t-shirt, board shorts, and flip-flops. Heather, a swimsuit and sarong. "Oh, crap," she said, as the rain turned into